Welcome to the last of our weekly webinar series. This one is called Carbon Offsets and Beyond, Responsible Impact Contributions for Fashion Brand. My name is Akhil. I'm one of the co-founders of Green Story and the president. And with me today is Devendra, our Director of Operations, and Gaurav, our Carbon Markets Associate. And we'll be walking you to deep dive into carbon offsetting credits and going beyond that, looking at what else is out there other than just carbon when you're looking at impact contributions as a company. This is the fourth one we've been having over the last 1 week, and I'm proud to kind of end on a very high note with this webinar. With that being said, over to you, Devendra.
Yeah, thanks, Akhil. We'll start with the agenda of the webinar. We're going to cover the methodology that we use for selecting offset projects. We are going to talk about the guidelines to select legitimate offsets and our approach, how we meet the guidelines. And then we're going to talk about offset projects, what are the best-in-class standards in offsetting, and the type of carbon offsets we support. So talking about the approach, why our approach is better than others and it's more legitimate, considering that there is so much noise in the offsetting market. So I'll take you through some of these parameters that we follow in our methodology, starting with registry selection. So we go with BARA and Gold Standard because they are internationally recognized and because of the stringent parameters and they follow SDG guidelines. And then if you look at public documentation, so both of these registries provide public documents, all their documents related to project, starting from project design document, validation document, monitoring document, and verification document for the project are available online, and anyone can see it, which is crucial for data collection and integrity. Then we talk about project opponent, basically the project owner. In this case, it could be a NGO or it could be an MNC. And we also look at its geographic location, whether it's in a developing country, whether it helps the local communities. And then we also look at additionality and sustainability. We see that carbon credit should not be a way for profit and driving profits, but it should be a way for sustaining the project. And we look at the projects from all the different angles, financial, regulatory, and barriers. So basically, we look at that the project has local regulatory approvals. There are no barriers against land acquisition and ensuring that the project is an additionality where it adds to the sustainability of the project. Then we talk about a positive impact score. We look at the projects which have a positive impact on the long-term project impact in terms of if you look at nature-based solutions, they have a much longer impact versus other projects, and the number of SDGs involved and like that. And then we look at technology reusability, which is again very important because we see that the project should be scalable and it should be applicable in different geographic locations, and it can be applied at multiple places. The most important is risk evaluation. We look at the project developer's history, its media reputation, certification standards that they have followed. We ensure that there is no negative media about it. And we see that if there is a large group and which has GHG emissions and they are also into renewables, we make sure that there is no such GHG emission associated with that project developer. And the last one is overcrediting risks, where we see that there is no overcrediting by the project, when we compare the report before the project and report after the project has been launched, and see that the number of credits remains the same, and it matches with the verification report for the project. Then we look at the final scoring, where this project must have achieved positive score on 3 out of 5 parameters. Most important among them is registry selection, public documentation, additionality and sustainability, positive impact score, and risk evaluation report. and based on that, we decide the projects for our clients. So the question next comes up is like, how do we make these projects relevant for your brand? And we have our own checklist where we make sure that it is it's generally aligns with your goals, and we look at transparency and accountability, where we see that there is a detailed information available about the project, and we share it with the client, and the client in turn shares it with the customers, and share discloses the actual impact of the offsets. There is a definitely a social and environmental impact of the project, where it kind of have a positive impact on biodiversity, local livelihood. And we see that the offset projects are aligned with the supply chain of the brand, where it is and in the areas where in the countries where supply chain of the brand is located. And we see that the company makes genuine efforts to educate their consumers about the limitation and challenges of offsetting, and the company works towards reducing emissions in addition to the offsetting. And we make sure that these offset projects have involvement of the local communities, and it helps them. And our projects are adhering to regulations and standards such as Vera and Gold Standard. So what do we do in terms of to make sure that this approach works for the offset project selected for you? So we have our own platform, and in addition to that, we do these credits retirement on these registries of Vera and Gold Standard, where we retire those credits every month in the name of the client, and as well as we send out the information to the client every month with all the details of the credits retired for them. And then we have product passports, when the consumer can actually brand can actually show the details related to origin and the material and the production process and the certification of those products. um, in terms of our platform is enabled to provide you precise area where the impact should be created. And let's say it could be in the sense like it's geographical area, like it's if the supply chain is in China, then you could prioritize your offsetting efforts to make more impact in China. And in terms of communication, we send out post-purchase emails to consumers where we inform them about the offset that we have done and how it has reduced the impact of their purchase, along with the transaction ID, which is the same ID which the consumer can use on our website and track that specific project in real time. And in addition to that, we also send out the certificates. And for social and environmental product, we are going beyond carbon now. We are talking on the impact of carbon, plastic, water, and methane. And in addition to that, definitely we want community involvement, and which kind of aligns with the geographic location of setting project, and which can be reforestation, renewable, and social betterment projects. We are adhering to regulation standard. Like I said, we only do registries with Vera and Gold standard. And in terms of long-term strategy, like I said, our platform is enabled to give you precise information in terms of which phase of the product life cycle is basically getting impacted, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's distribution, whether it's use phase and end of life. It can show you the exact impact and what is the percentage of that impact in that area, and you can choose whichever area that you want to focus on. I will hand over it to Gaurav, who is going to show you our offset management platform.
Thank you so
Over to you,
much.
Gaurav.
Thank you so much, Devendra. And I'll just quickly share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So as Devendra has talked about few of the checklists which we do, including transparency, holistic supply chain, communication, social and environmental impact. So we have our internal database, sorry, a dashboard which we call it offset credit dashboard. So in this, we manage all the credits for our projects, for our customers. And this is what we do for our customers. Like you don't have to do anything. We do it on the behalf of you. And whenever there is a special request or some new project is required, so everything is taken care from this dashboard. So if you see here, like we have different projects, and please keep in mind that this is a demo website. So everything, all the numbers, all the projects, and all the figures which are present in this dashboard are for the representative purpose only, and we can't share the real dashboard due to data privacy issues. So as you can see, like for each project, for example, a biogas project in India, we have different information like the selling price, the SDGs which they cater to, the status whether it's active or not. Then we have the balance, and on the basis of balance only, we allocate projects to our clients, like whatever the demand is. And you can see like different parameters. So whenever we go for the credit allocation, so throughout our representation, we'll talk about a demo company, which is our short form for a company itself. And then we have this, like you can see, a demo company may have a clean drinking water, 100 credits. Then there is plastic credit, bundle wind power, and plastic bank, which is a kind of a plastic credit. So every project is different one and can cater to different probabilities everywhere. So each client has a different demand, and accordingly, the each one project is taken care of. And whenever each product is buy from their website, from a particular website, the same is getting accumulated for the tons of CO2 which has been used. So accordingly, there is a accumulation of credits. So when we say credit, that means tons of CO2 which has been emitted. So you can see like here we have different projects, and different projects have different accumulated retires. So on a monthly basis, what we do is we retire the credits on their behalf. So accordingly, like we do it this on a monthly basis, and based on a special request, like whether they want to do a retirement process or they want a new credit or a new project according to their geography, whether their supply chain is in any developing country or any new North America region or Europe region, we do this on their behalf. Then moving forward, then what kind of offset projects do we support? So categorically, we have divided all our carbon projects into three categories. First one is renewable, which mainly caters to whatever the renewable energy we can cater from nature. So basically, it includes solar power plants, wind, wind plants. Then we have geothermal, then waste to energy, and sometimes we do have very innovative projects like poultry litter to methane gas formation, rice cultivation to methane capture projects. So these are all projects are situated across geographies and based on the client supply chain or their requirements or their sometimes their special needs, we tend to go for the renewable energy projects, and they are a major component of the carbon projects. Then we go for the social projects, and as you know, Devendra have also told you that one of the parameters which we take for project consideration is social impact, which they give us on the region or on the society. So accordingly, like those social projects are those projects which are directly involved with the community, like they are directly having interaction with the community or involving in their lives on a daily use. And whenever the social impact is categorized or quantified, it is quantified in sustainable development goals. So whenever they are getting like elevation from poverty or medical service or anything, so whenever they have an impact directly affecting the SDGs, so we categorize those projects into social projects. So mostly, if you consider like water purification projects, cook stove projects, even supply of electricity to rural areas. So these are type of projects where actual impact can be seen on the society or the communities involved is considered under social projects. Then the third project we have forestry projects. Obviously, by simple terms, forestry we mean the forest which are available. So when we are saying about forest, so they are actually removing CO2, which is already present in the atmosphere. So whatever is the excessive CO2, so they are trying to remove that CO2 from the atmosphere. And when we say forestry projects, there are three type of projects: afforestation, which is planting of trees on a long-term basis; then avoided deforestation, where we prevent deforestation of existing trees; and then we have carbon sequestration projects, which are high-end projects, but there are very few of them. And like sometimes they do are situated across the coastal areas where mangroves and all those have been preserved. So if you see that whatever projects we have divided this into three categories: renewable, social, and forestry. Moving forward, so what is beyond carbon? Like whatever we have discussed this about the carbon projects, and the parameter which we are categorizing is tons of CO2. So moving beyond, like how can companies go beyond carbon and reduce their carbon footprint throughout the supply chain and the operations? So first one is tree planting projects. Like Green Store is also involved in tree planting. So whenever a company is having a request for a tree planting, so they need to get involved from the day one to minimum of 10 to 15 years, so that they can see the direct effect whatever tree plantation has been going on. So obviously they can be media outlets, and they can also share on the social media. But obviously tree plantation is a direct involvement of the company in the tree trees whichever are grown for 10 to 15 years, and the communities which are involved. So if you do have a request, do let us know about such tree plantation drives. Then we have plastic credit. So this is a very innovative credit, I would say, because uh, this credit is involved like removing the plastic waste which is being present in the oceans, and collecting it to a recycling unit, and then recycling it so that it is removed from the environment, is a very I would say impactful process. And obviously the communities which are involved, so they are provided monetary benefits whenever that is collected, and every time a collection is being done, so that transaction is being put on blockchain ledger so that everyone can track it, and whenever the plastic is used or finally used as a recycling unit throughout the uh, manufacturing process, that can be trace upon. And obviously, like we call it social recycling, and that's how the if 1 kg of waste plastic is collected from the sea, that we call it as a plastic credit. And moving forward, this is also one more category which is called methane capture. So as you all know, that fashion industry involves textiles, and many polyester, synthetic polyesters are also used like nylon, rayon. And during the manufacturing, also different refrigerants and methane gases are also produced. So whenever these gases are present, they are responsible for greenhouse gases. So in order to prevent such greenhouse gases venting out into the atmosphere, we make sure that we have projects that do the destruction of refrigerants and halon fire supplements that can be potential greenhouse gases, and which can also deplete the ozone layer. So for such process, and whenever a synthetic polyesters are involved, we have this special project so that companies can reduce the greenhouse emissions across the manufacturing process. Moving forward, then this is a biodiversity credit which we are anticipating, and we are really excited about it. So this is an addition to the forestry projects. So whenever we are talking about forestry projects, we were talking about carbon credits only, but with biodiversity, we are talking about the dry mass, the water, the species involved, the animals involved, and throughout a holistic approach for the natural ecosystem. So this project we are anticipating soon, and obviously, like do keep checking our website, so you will soon hear about this biodiversity credits. Thank you so much.
All right, Gaurav, can you show us one of the clients where how digital passports work?
Yes, yes, yes. So if you can see, like this is one of our customer uh, from whom we can see a different catalog of products. So if you click on any of these products, so for example, this big Illumo T-shirt. So if you can see the equivalence part, this is the green story and how the garment is related to that fabric. So if you buy this product directly, so you can see like 2 meter square of land would be prevent from harmful pesticides. 6.7 kilometer of driving emission can be avoided. Same equivalence in LED form and drinking water. And the actual can be like, so these are all units which you want to see. And you can see the total offset for the production of this T-shirt is 2.83 kgs, which is tons of CO2. Kgs emission means greenhouse gases. So if you just click on this, you can see the actual projects which are involved here. So you can see one is renewable as per green story categories. So one is renewable. Then we have a social project called Save Community Water Rwanda. Then we have a forestry project called Hudson Farm Forest in United States. So you can see even the offset is divided within these projects. So accordingly, like everything is taken care of throughout this percentage ratio. So that's how, like, if you are a company, so you should also can take benefit of this approach.
Thanks, Gaurav. We'll open it up for questions. Um, if not, then basically we will be sharing the recording on your email, and then we're planning to do a next webinar with on plastic credits in January. So we'll talk more about plastic credits, how they can be displayed on your website, and we'll also talk about how you can work with us in making plastic offsets. Uh, Thank you all for coming today. Thanks. Bye bye.